you. Couldn't tag Lee because Lee doesn't have Facebook. I should have tagged his wife though. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best sports show in Kansas City. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio, where sports come alive. Join your hosts, the awesome voice, and Coach 24 as they dive into the latest sports news, analysis, and excitement. From the biggest games to the most thrilling moments, they've got it all covered. So sit back, relax, and get ready for an hour of unbeatable sports action. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW Radio.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Weekend Eve. This is Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Coach 24, Darwin Penny, my brother with another mother, is out. He is scouting, trying to find somebody who can hit home runs outside of Salvi and Pasquantino. Now, Witt is doing okay hitting home runs, but we still need more people hitting home runs. It's bad enough that we got to bring up MJ Melendez from Omaha to try to solidify the offense. But anyway, he's doing a great job. He is out on the scouting route. And then we've got behind the scenes running the show, Mr. DJ Scatter, George Walker. Mr. Walker, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, everything's going just fine for me right now.
All right, absolutely. And I have on the show, and of course it's been KC Panthers for the last 4 months, and we did it again. And I am gladly, or I should say proudly, introducing the head coach of the Kansas City Panthers and the commissioner of the Central Midwest Football League and of the Gateway Conference champions, Kansas City Panthers, Jimmy Ross. Jimmy, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here as always. Glad to be back in the studio.
Absolutely. And we have the defensive coordinator, the guy that runs the number one defense in the Central Midwest Football League, and
the assistant head coach.
And he is the assistant head coach, and he is also the Gateway Conference champions of the Kansas City Panthers, Bo Webb. Coach Bo Webb, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. After a fantastic weekend we just experienced, excited, but I know the job's not done yet, and we've got a few days to get things ready to go. So I'm amped, hyped, and you guys know me. I'm a firework, so absolutely. I'm ready to go to work.
Absolutely. So it was an interesting game. Now I'm gonna talk just a second. You guys will be playing the Oklahoma Bears in the championship game, which will be played in 2 weeks. Well, roughly a week and a half. It won't be this Saturday, it'll be next Saturday. And it was in Joplin, but now it's in Greenland, Arkansas. But anyway, the Oklahoma Bears took care of business. They took out the Oklahoma Gators, which I call them the Tulsa Gators. I've always called them the Tulsa Gators. But anyway, they beat them 52-27. And you guys turned around and you took care of business, defeating the St. Louis Falcons 21-10. Again, showing your defensive prowess and scoring touchdowns when you absolutely need it.
Correct.
Thank you for letting me know that. So it's okay. So there was a downside. Unfortunately, the game did not completely end. It had to stop on, I'm going to say it, on the other team deciding to pull a stupid stunt by causing a melee, and it cost the fans. It cost people who were watching the game from watching a great game, because it was a great game there.
Well, I'd like to correct you right there real
Okay,
quick.
please do.
It was not a brawl, and it was not a melee. It was just a lot of shenanigans going on. So no injuries occurred from that incident. There was no punches swung. So
That's great.
And we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. We don't want to overshadow the accomplishments of of our players, what they've done throughout the season, and my coaching staff. So no disrespect, but we like to move on to the opponent that we are preparing for.
Good. So we will do that. Now, saying that, you guys the Falcons had you guys, I believe, inside the 10-yard line, 3 or 4 times?
It was actually 4 times.
4 times.
Yes.
Now, did they score that touchdown in the red zone, or was it outside the red zone?
It was actually inside the red zone.
Okay. So they scored a touchdown, they scored a field goal, and then they missed the field goal, and then they got turnover on downs.
Yes.
So you guys really were stellar. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it starts with the discipline side, being a defensive player, the structure, and I think the biggest thing that we talked about back in day one was buying into the system and being dedicated to being here at practice, learning and listening to your coaches, and wanting to be great at what you do. I always tell the guys I preach about not just be good, we want to be great. And I think every guy that's been on this side of the ball have bought into what we've been teaching, from the off season, from the winter weights to the classroom to the playbook, and it showed throughout the entire season. So this past Saturday, I think everything kind of came together, because I haven't really seen a true full-quarter football game from the dark side, the defense. But this Saturday, I think we damn near played lights out, and I'm very proud of these guys from top to bottom.
Absolutely, because the Falcons are a good team, and they didn't make it to the championship game for being scrubs. They were very good, and you guys took care of business. You shut them down. So, saying that, got to give credits to Neighbor. Got to pick. Piero, got to pick.
Yes.
Now, was that? I couldn't remember if there was 2 or 3 picks in the game.
It was actually 3 picks. One got called back. Xavier, we call him X, number 10. He, right now, in my opinion, I think he's number 2 in the league with interceptions. He came up with 6 as of right now. He should have 10.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? We had a couple callback. He had a couple of drops. But we'll take what he's been doing. Young man has grown a lot since I've ran across him and met him a couple of years ago. Just the maturity side of him. Not just on the football field, off the football field, family man, and just the structure that he has shown this year from start to end. He's grown like with the blink of an eye. He's literally playing football like he's a grown man, and I appreciate a little bit of that. I just talk a little bit about a couple of stat leaders that we got. These guys are just not football players. They're not just athletes. They're not just defensive players. These guys are also leaders. Number 24, Josh, who's my DN. He's leading the team in sacks. He also led my team last year in sacks. Just been doing great things. Biggest thing on the offseason for him, we told him he's got to get in shape. He dropped some weight, dedicated to the weight room that Coach Ross had the guys on in offseason, and it showed throughout the season. Christian, who's one of our captains, who's also plays the opposite DN, he's leading the team right now in tackle for losses. So I tell you, when you get a chance to deal with us, you better be aware it's not just what we got up the middle on the back end. We got some edge guys that are dogs. So be careful with that.
Well, I am impressed with your defensive line and the ability that you can transfer players in and out. It's just not 4 guys and they play straight 4 quarters, because you could virtually, no matter how great of condition they are in, you can run them down. And the fact is that you can rest them You can give them breathers, and they come back in, and they're just huge. They just come in, and they are dogs. I mean, Jordan Ragsdale is awesome, and Henderson. I mean, you guys, and that's the start of it, because the defensive line is the beginning of it runs your defense. Your cornerbacks and the defensive backs cannot make their plays if the defensive line does not come in and cause havoc. And yes, you know, you get some people that say, well, yeah, defensive players or defensive backs can do it, but you got to have a great defensive line. The Chiefs have proved when they've had a good defensive line, the cornerbacks are even better than advertised. And you guys got some great defensive backs too. Now, is Pearson a defensive back, or is he one of those hybrids?
He's an athlete.
He's a utility.
DeMonte is one of those type of individuals that every team, not just here in our league, but every team at this level, even collegiately, he plays like he's still in college. He practices that way. His mentality is that way. The way he thinks, the way he operates, and it shows every Saturday. Any given Saturday, when it comes to this guy, you got to be aware where he's at all times, because you've seen it before.
Right.
Just want to point out, you made a great statement when you talk about the D line, but it's just not just us. It's also the offense. It's also special teams. If you don't have a solid offensive line and D line, there's going to be no football team. You can have a star quarterback. If you don't have an O-line, you could be in trouble. So what's in the trenches is where you're going to win your ball games at. And we've been grateful and honored to have some dogs on both sides. Collegiate athletes, athletes that believe in your system, that's been around for a while, veterans, young guys, and every single individual have bought into our captains and coaches, and that's why we've got some success. So we've got one more to do, 4 quarters left, and I think we're going to have an opportunity to get this thing done this year.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I like to have your assessment of the game and how the defense. We'll get to the offense in a minute, but right now we're talking. So, how did you see your defense?
It was the exact defense that we had envisioned from day one, and also we wanted to be fast and physical. I know everyone likes to have a defense like that, but it goes back again to the interviews and the selection process. Me and Coach Webb and the rest of the coaches just putting the pieces together to find guys that would fit what we wanted to do. And we wanted guys that were unselfish. And when we talk about, all coaches talk about going 100 or 110, and these guys lived up to what we expected from them. So I don't want to get too yah and hooray or anything like that. They're doing what we expect them to do. That's their job.
Absolutely. So I just wanted you to tell me your assessment. I didn't want to.
Oh.
I didn't want you to be rah-rah. I just wanted you to lay out the facts.
No, it like I said, you know, we had a vision in mind, and we went out and got the guys that we needed to have in order to run the type of defense that we wanted to run. So,
absolutely. So, saying that, so you have all your players available for the championship on defense now?
yes.
Okay. So now let's get to the offense. So the offense, it seemed like you had spurts where the running game didn't work, but then all of a sudden, man, you get one play and boom, 46 yards, it was a touchdown. And so, again, as we're talking about the trenches, and you're right, it is just not the defense. It is how the game is played and won. Whether it's in little league football, whether it's in high school football, whether it's in college football, or whether it's in the NFL or the CMFL. The trenches dictate everything. You know, like you said, you could have you could have Tom Brady back there, but if he can't see where he's throwing to, or he's laying on his back a lot, he ain't going to be that great either. So
Right.
you had great offense. They were blowing holes away, and I love a few of those plays that you had. And I'm just telling you what, they just you made the Falcons look completely lost on some of those plays.
Well, first thing I want to say, because I didn't get a chance to say it earlier, is that, hats off to the Falcons. They are a very good football team, and
Yes,
they've come a
yes.
long way from last year, and I know they're just going to get even better. It was an honor to play against them because teams like that force you to put out your best. But far as the offense, and from time to time, like I said, you said that on a few running plays that it was not there. But when my offensive line up against any team, I expect them to be able to make adjustments, and everything isn't always going to be a positive gain. Everything isn't going to be a home run hit. But I have smart backs also, and that communication between them and the offensive line, making the adjustments as we go along. There's so much communication going on between me and my offensive coordinator, Jay Robinson, throughout that game. And, hell, we're just as tired as sometimes the players, because we're running around making adjustments and talking to this person, what do you see, what you got, and everything. As coaches, we're not so prideful to where we are not open for ideas and suggestions from our ball players. They're on the field and they see things just a little bit different than what we see on the sideline. So I think that has allowed us to be successful being that way.
Brian, can I chime in real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Coach Ross, he said exactly what was going through my mind even before I got here. We talked to the guys about not just buying into the system itself, but also let them know that even though we're your coaches, we want to have open ears. We want to have open hands. We want to be able to take notes. And we listen to what you got. You guys got opinions. You guys got thoughts, info, passive bias. I can tell anyone that old school saying, closed mouths don't get fed. And that's have shown truth to the coaching staff. We listen to these ball players. And I would tell you, any team, I'm 22 years at this, and Coach Ross is about maybe 50 years at this, if I'm not mistaken. But
I look pretty good for that.
yes, you do, Coach. Yes, you do. Just having a coaching staff that have come together the way we have in a short period of time. Thank you, Coach Ross, for believing in every single one of us. It shows true and evidence that any player you can talk to us right now, they were like, man, look, Coach Ross, I pass ideas by him all the time. Coach Webb, Christian, Keyshawn, all of my captains, DeMonte, we talk almost 4 or 5 times a week, and it's not just at practice. So that holds true at this level. So anyone out there, if you want to have some success, be willing to open up and listen to your ball players, because sometimes they might see something, like you just said, that we don't know. You never know where it's going to take you.
How hard is it, or I should say, how hard is it to try to, you have a game plan and you're running, and then you've got a player or somebody else saying, hey, coach, hey, you got to take a look at this, and you're focused, your mind is right where you're trying to get, and then you've got somebody coming in and say, hey, coach, take a look at that. How hard or how easy is it for you to transfer those emotions into changing what needs to be done?
Sometimes when that happens, I don't have time to look for it, but I will assign someone else to look after that, and then report back to me. And the thing about coaching that a lot of people want to get into coaching, but when you're coaching football, your mind has to be very quick. You have to be able to process so many different things going on while the game is taking place. Rotations, managing the clock, and what play you're gonna. It is literally playing chess and trying to think 2 moves ahead. Okay, so if a ball player comes to me and tells me something, I may be able to look at it at that moment, or I may say, go to one of my other coaches and say, hey, check this out for me on the next few plays and let me know what you see.
Absolutely. So, saying that, um, is that why sometimes there are really good coaches that are like coordinators? And I'm not picking either one of you, but why some, and I'm going to use the NFL as an example, why there was coordinators that were phenomenal, but as soon as they became a head coach, they all of a sudden act like they didn't have a clue what was going on.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for them. There's so many variables at play, but sometimes it's the system. Because just like ball players, sometimes coaches will be at one program and then go somewhere else, and then the system makes them successful. The atmosphere makes them successful. What they have to work with makes them successful. So it's just too many variables to put just one reason behind it.
So would I say that is it the system that is working for the Panthers this year?
I believe so, yes. I mean, the ability to be able to adjust even outside of the game, because we're still adjusting these young men even off the field. The communication, and like Coach said, we talk to not just the captains, but a lot of these guys. So all week long, I know my wife, she's like, "You on the phone again?" There's times where I'm on the phone with one person to the next, because I have to worry about their mental well-being as well, because that translates over to the game field. So I want to make sure that they're okay in every aspect of their life, because I believe that everything you do on the football field is the exact same thing you do in your personal life.
And Brian, my approach to the whole thing when it comes to the system, I always go look at it to the point where what athletes do I have? So instead of me trying to force a certain system with a certain group of men, even at the high school level, I've always been a firm believer, maybe I have to adjust the system to fit who I'm working with. What we do here, I can't say too much because we know the opposing team is probably going to get a hold of this and watch this, but I keep it simple. I have ran defenses where it's really exotic. I've been running defense where it's a 4-4, 4-2-5. I've got different names for it. A 3-5-3, 3-3 stack. So you go down a list. I've done it, been there, coached it at all different levels. But what I try to do is build it around the athletes I have. And I found something in the offseason. I passed it to my coach, and him and I agree. It's a great system. Well, put your system in. I think it'll fit with what we got. And you can see guys are having fun with it. The most important thing is to have fun with it.
Absolutely. We're here with the Kansas City Panthers head coach Jimmy Ross, assistant head coach Bo Webb. And saying this, you were talking about the mentality. So is it, and I know both of them are important, but which one is more important, the physical aspect or the mental aspect?
I would say that it's got to be mental predominantly first, because the physical, it is what it is, and there's always going to be someone that's either faster than you or stronger than you. But if you're mentally healthy and build up your mental, then you can be able to play that game, make the adjustment to be able to play against that person that may be faster than you or stronger than you, and know when to bring out them different techniques and so on and so on. So you have to be able to, even though that person may be getting the best of you, but you may just need to make just a few plays, you get them. So, and that comes with the mindset of not giving up and never quitting, the grind mentality. And so I firmly believe that the character of the team is a reflection of its leadership. And so, their leadership, or as a coaching staff, none of us are quitters. I mean, we've been grinding at this for a long time. And so, therefore, I think the guys feed off of that.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you the same question.
Okay, so my whole thing is Brian and Jimmy, we're kind of like older guys, and we've been around football for a while. A lot of you guys have heard of James Hastings. Used to play cornerback for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he played for the Jets, and then he played for the Chiefs.
Right. So if you look at him, I always tell people when we talk about the mental and physical side of it, James Hastings was one of the slowest DBs in the league. He was one of the he was undersized too. But where he shined, why he started, why he was in the Pro Bowl is because of the smarts that he brought to the game, the mental side of it, and that's how he played. I had a chance to go to a camp and listen to him talk way back in the day, and he talked about that. I'm not going to outrun this guy. I'm not going to do this, do that. But I tell you what, the mental side of it, I'm going to beat you every single play. And that's where I agree 1,000 times over. It's the mental side of it. We can teach you somewhat about being physical, but the mental side is where it starts. So I'm right there with Coach Ross on that one.
Well, then I'm going to give you guys an example. I read Jack Tatum's book. They Call Me Assassin. I read it when I was a kid. I have the book, and Jack Tatum actually became one of my biggest fans. I was one of his biggest fans. I loved him. So he comes out of Ohio State. He's a track star. He's a speedster, everything. So he comes into the Raiders camp, and he's going up against Fred Biletnikoff. Well, you would not consider him a speedster by any stretch of the imagination. And so he was talking about how, oh my goodness, I'm gonna roll this guy over, I'm just gonna totally dominate him. And Fred just coming up, his long hair and everything, and he's just kind of there, and he goes, yeah, I'm gonna give you a lesson, son, and he's thinking, really? I can outrun you. I can run circles around you. And all day long, he did. Biletnikoff made him look so bad that Jack Tatum thought about quitting after that day.
Wow.
So then he had to explain to him the mental side. You have to understand your opponent and don't ever underestimate him. So, and that was really, one of those lessons, because Jack Tatum had all the attributes.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Fred
he did.
Biletnikoff quite didn't have all those attributes, but he had a great pair of hands, and he used it and was able to use his abilities against Jack Tatum. So you can be the slowest guy, just like James Hasty. You can be the slowest guy, but if you outsmart him, it doesn't matter if you're slow or fast.
That's right.
Because mentally, you could make him a lot slower than you. So saying that, So asking this, who do you think were your? Just give me a couple offensive, defenses. Who were your top offensive and defensive players of this last game? And I'll ask you the same question.
Gotcha.
I'm going to say it this way. For far as the offense, the entire offense. And I'm sorry, I just can't pick one person. It was a collaborative effort, because I don't want to take away from the individuals that I don't name. I mean, because there are some unsung heroes that exist throughout that game. So I'm sorry,
I get
Brian,
it.
I can't.
I know. I had to kind of put you.
Why don't you tell me what you see and what you think is
So-
I'm not going to do that, because, all my ball players, like I said, no matter how small of a contribution or how big, but right now there's so many to name. There's so many that don't get the shout out.
That's true.
Because they're quiet heroes. And that's probably the reason why they're on this team.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put you.
Put me on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
I'm ready for it. But I agree with Coach Ross, but I can tell you we did have a few standout ball players on the defense dark side. Again, we talk about X number 10. Just the maturity side that he's grown over the last couple of months, on and off the football field, has shown on Saturdays when we play. DeMonte, number 6, he plays just like he did when he was in college. Haven't let up a bit, and he's going to continue to be that way. Just the leadership also, not just to play on the football field. So, with the leadership of Keyshawn and Christian, everybody stepped up. Collectively, everybody did their job. I also want to give credit to one of our defensive backs. We talk about D2. Number 7, there's been talk about, is he a cover guy? There's been guys in the league on other teams talk about, well, we know your weak link, and every single Saturday, this young man steps up and he gets the job done. Came up with a huge interception there in the fourth quarter. I think the game would have continued. I think off of that interception, offense would have one or two things: found the end zone and/or ate up a lot of that clock, and it would have been really tough for the Falcons to try to put something together, being that you're already down by 2 scores. So I want to give props out to D2 for doing a hell of a job for us entire season, not folding, not listening to anybody. One thing I know Coach Ross has talked about, and I think a lot of people, not just on the Panthers, but just overall, he tell people, don't listen to a bunch of crap out here. Focus on what you got, be you, and also be a man of God, whoever you serve.
Right.
Keep him first and foremost in everything you do.
Right.
And he preaches that every single day. So props to D2, but overall I think everyone came out and did their job. We all knew we had one common goal, and that's play 4 quarters of football and come out with a victory. On top of that, we're also trying to change history. If we can go win this, there's only been a few teams in the Midwest region, or at least I said Kansas City, that have ran the tables from start to end and come out with a league title. We're 4 quarters away. We got a very tough task ahead of us going against the Bears. I know their history. Coach Ross knows their history. It's going to be a dogfight, and we just want to let everybody know we're coming to play football. So be ready. Be ready for it.
Absolutely. And I will say this. You talk about the mentality part. Well, Neighbors is what, 5'8"?
Yes, he's
5'8", maybe.
He's a little taller than me, and I'm 5'7". Yes, I'm 5'7".
Okay,
Coach Ross.
so we'll I love that look you gave him. So roughly, we're 5'7", 5'8".
Your attitude's
And-
bigger than that.
And yet,
Yes.
and yet he intercepted a pass from a kid that was 6'4". So, you talk about the mental aspect of it. He was able to get into the right position for him to take the ball away
Technique.
Yeah.
and get the INT and keep you guys a 2-score lead. Because if the Falcons had caught that, they could have either gone up 5, 4, or even 3 within 3 points. So then it really would have been a hard fought battle to go with. So I just think that was a very impressive play, and that was just one of many of them.
Yes.
And with that, we are at halftime on Any Given Sunday on KUAW. I've got head coach Jimmy Ross of the CMFL, and I've got the assistant head coach Robert Webb. We call him Bo Webb. And we're going to take a break, and then when we get back, we will talk more, and then we're going to bring up your opponent, the Oklahoma Bears. So we will
Okay.
be back shortly. All right, we're back for the second half of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. We've got Coach 24 Darwin Penny, who is out scouting, DJ Scatter running the show. I have head coach Jimmy Ross of the Kansas City Panthers and assistant head coach Bo Webb of the Kansas City Panthers. And so on the 2nd of August, let's just say it like this, it's roughly about 10 days. In 10 days, 10 days, you will be playing for the championship. At the beginning of the season, I know that every team says our goal is to win the championship. How much did you believe that you could win the championship at the beginning of the season? You remember you've had a couple of subpar seasons, you've struggled, and you brought in players, and you thought you brought in the right players, but you still didn't know until they came out. Where did you thought that you would end up?
That's a good question because throughout the journey, I mean, we always preach, and everyone does, one game at a time, and try not to look too far ahead. We did mention early on that it would be nice to be able to play for a championship. I think I mentioned it to my offensive coordinator about, going undefeated, but it was more of us joking around, but it became a reality. It's like week in and week out when we concentrated on one game at a time, and then all of a sudden we're there. And that's about the best I could tell you, Brian. Coach Webb, you got?
Yeah, well, I've got a few stories behind that question, Brian. Number one was...
Go right ahead.
And I'm going to talk about Coach Ross over here. Back in day one, we had our first coaches meeting. We were talking about the team, the roster, interviews, the whole shebang of what it takes in the offseason to put a solid team together. You don't know what you have until you're there. Just what you just mentioned. Coach Ross looks at myself and the other staff, and he said, by God, I just want to get an opportunity to play the Oklahoma Bears one more time. So here we are, 12 weeks in a season later, and guess what? Your wishes came true. So by him making that statement, it stuck with myself and Coach Jay, who is a former ball player of mine. So we talk about it behind his back. He don't know that we got to do our best to make sure if this opportunity happens. Now, we don't know if the Bears will come out on the other side or not because, I think both divisions is really stacked. But just when we got here, the postseason, then we got to the Final Four with like, you know what, Coach Jay, there's an opportunity. We do our job and they do their job. Coach Ross is going to get his wish. So Saturday night after the game, we stopped and got some drinks and so forth. Non-alcoholic, so don't think that.
Exactly.
And we were talking about that, and I looked at Jay and I said,
hydrating.
Jay, can you believe this man over here actually called that shot? Joking or not, he actually called that shot. So we got a job to do. My biggest thing was when I told the guys in the offseason about the discipline side of it. Discipline carries you a long way. Commitment carries you a long way. Structure carries you a long way. I live and I breathe off of that, not just in football, but in life. The leadership that I'm in at KU, him being a manager of this job, I think just with the solid leadership that we display on the football field, off the field, and just families and everything we do every day in life, I think that's also a big contributor to why we've had success. So it's something that we talked about one game at a time. When we got halfway through the season, we started telling ourselves, this is actually believable. And he did his job, Coach Ross did his job to make sure from every single staff member to players, don't stop believing because that's actual possibility that could happen. And here we are, undefeated.
So
and ready to go.
when exactly you were like, this can be a championship team?
I actually said that back in day one. I think after our first few workouts that we had indoors, Coach had us do some different things inside. After lifting weights, we would go to the gym, and then we would get a chance to get outside. And I started looking at the athletes. I'm like, these athletes that we have, just seeing the smarts they bring to the table, the veteran leadership, how certain guys before they were captains was working with the young guys. I said that's what the atmosphere needs to be like. So I kind of saw it, but again, like he said, you don't know it until you take one game at a time. But I think midway through the season, I started telling myself there's a chance we could do this.
Absolutely. Coach, I'm going to ask you the same question. When did you – we already thought your expectations at the beginning. No, we didn't. I asked him. So what did you think at the beginning? Because I know you've said it a few times in the beginning. And then when did you think this is a championship team?
You know, I'm a humble man.
Yes, he is.
You are, but I still ask the question.
I guess there's no harm in me saying that I thought that early on in those winter months when we were working out and seeing how the ball players, after we made our selections of who we wanted on the team and how they interacted with each other, it was almost as if they had always been together. And that told me right there that there was something special. But ultimately, the moves were made even prior to that because readjusting the coaching staff and working from the top down, and that also mean that I had to give up some responsibilities and entrust those that I brought on board. So it was early on that I said, this is going to be a really good team. We wanted to make sure that we limit the amount of injuries throughout, and I'm going a little long here because it's just so many things that played into that mindset of we thinking we had a special team.
No, I want to hear this. So
I saw guys come to the rescue for other guys in a time of need, whether it be for rides to practice or for food or gas money and so on. That told me that a lot of them was unselfish, and that's what we wanted. That's what we was hoping that we would get when we interviewed them. Because in order for us to do what we needed to do, you had to be willing to sacrifice yourself and serve the others. And I've seen so many guys do that. There's guys that possibly wouldn't be here playing ball right now because they ran into a little bit of hard time, and guys came and said, no, I got you. And if there's anything else, let me know. We haven't seen that in a long time with this organization. We've both been a part of organizations like that. But to see it now, and then to see the coaching staff able to agree and disagree and still work for the common goal for the better results for the team. And there are some teams out there that coaching staffs don't get along. But this one, we truly indeed care about each other. So I think it, like Coach Webb said early on, we knew we had something special with these guys. And the mindset is still the same. We are going to go into this game and give it everything we got, do the best that we can, and give God his glory. That's what we've been living off of from game in and game out.
Amen.
absolutely.
Excuse me for just a quick second. We have a Christina Keener.
Oh, Taylor.
you know-
Christina Taylor.
No, this is Keener. K.
Yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
It's Christina Taylor.
All right. She says, "I'm so happy for this organization. I knew it could be done."
Yes, absolutely, Christina. Put in a number if she wants to call in. 816-599-6893 is the phone number. So, Christina, if you are hearing me, 816-599-6893. you can give us a call. We would love to hear from you. This young lady, she was with the Titans organization, and then she moved to Vegas, and there we go. And so she went to Vegas, and she's with a team out there. So, Ooh, love that back feed. Is this
I turned my volume down, so I can't hear what they're saying.
okay? Can you hear me, Christina?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you.
Okay, say hi to Coach Webb and Coach Ross.
Two of my favorite people at the same table. I thought I'd never see it.
I don't think a lot of people
I am
expected
so
it.
proud of both of you guys. I knew that if the minute you two got together, things would be different in Kansas City. Both of you have been my closest friends for the longest time. I'm so sad I'm not going to be there on the sideline to see history being made, but I have every confidence that you got this,
And let me say this,
and I can't wait to watch it.
Christina. First of all, we want to say truly from our hearts
You probably need to speak up a little bit so she can hear. There you go.
the love that you have shown for not just myself, the Titans in the past, and Coach Ross and the Panthers, but just as a true fan, you are family, and the support you've given over the years, we appreciate that. Trust and believe we're going to go and give everything we got, and back in my mind, we're going to do this for you because from afar, you're still with us. So we got 4 quarters to get this thing done, and you already know we will be talking right after the game.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for you guys.
Well, I greatly appreciate you coming on the show because, we've kept in touch, and I try to keep in touch with you, your teams out there in Vegas. So just a quick thing, just talk just a little bit about your team.
So I'm the director of team affairs for the Vegas Force. We're an 8-man indoor pro arena team. We're actually taking on the international team of Team Mexico this Saturday at 7 a.m. out at the Lee's Family Forum here in Henderson, Nevada. It'll be broadcast. You have to pay for the link because it is a pro arena game, but there will be a link, so if you want to watch our game, you can watch our game too. But we're doing big things out here with the Vegas Force. We do a lot of community events. We give back to our community. We're trying to build a more positive football organization for these guys out here to give them a positive outlet. Something to do other than run the streets, get them looked at, maybe help take them to a higher level of football.
Absolutely, Christina, and I appreciate you first calling on the show.
And we're proud of you.
Yeah,
Visually.
we are very proud of you, and the fact that you have become a director of a team just shows your great ability and your dedication towards the game, and I know how much you love the game of football as much as we do, and we do miss you. We wish you were out here, but I know you're doing amazing things out there in Vegas, so we are proud of you as of Coach Webb and Coach Ross, and we just want to say thank you for calling, and thank you for the kind words that you said towards Coach Webb and Coach Ross, because you are right. Coach Webb and Coach Ross, for a while, they were like the Chiefs and Raiders. They were arch rivals. So not necessarily in the hate aspect, but just the fact that you guys were competing against each other.
Oh, we
now
hate each
you're
other sometimes.
but now
Now
you're playing together, and with that gives us a great chance for the Kansas City Panthers to win this championship game in about 9 days.
And Christina, let me say this to you. I know we talked a while back, and you kept putting that bug in my ear and also Coach Ross's ear. Guys, you never know what happens if you two get together. So you were kind of like the trendsetter of getting this thing rolling. So I want to give you credit. And again, we got business to do in 10 days, and I know you got a big game. So let's go out and both come out victorious next weekend.
Yes, Absolutely. I love you both. You both are my family. I can't even express how proud of the both of you I am. And Coach Webb, I just have to say, you gave me my football start with the Titans. My career, GM of 2 teams now, a national all-star team, a state all-star team, director of team affairs for my local team. I wouldn't have had any of that without you calling me down to the field and saying, hey, I like your photos. You want to come down and step onto the field and take photos? The minute I stepped on the field, I knew that's where I wanted to be forever.
Well, I mean, your hard work, dedication, and commitment to the game of football has definitely shown up. And when I get on social media and I see your sites and your accomplishments that you have put together, it's amazing. So you keep doing you, keep doing big things out there, and maybe one day you'll be doing great things at that next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm so blessed and honored that I got to be on here with you and wish you guys well. Best of luck. I know you can do it. I know in my heart that this was meant to be for you guys. So I can't wait to see it come true.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Absolutely, and I love you too. So, you know, we do talk every once in a while and keep in touch and everything else. And I appreciate everything you've done, and I appreciate the fact that you came on the show to give us love and maybe even a little good luck.
That's right.
Are we there? Are you still there? Oh, okay.
Yes. I hear you through my phone, but I see your mouth still moving on TV, so I'm not sure that.
Well, you know me, I'm a chatty Cathy, so so we will go ahead and end this call, but we will definitely keep in touch, Christina.
Absolutely.
And you
I'm
guys,
looking forward to next Saturday.
And you have an awesome evening. Thank you.
You too. Love you guys.
Love
you too. Bye. So, you know, sometimes doing things that you just think maybe is tedious or you don't even consider it has made a big effort for somebody else. Because, like, and I'm going to say this real quick. When my brother passed away, you guys were still rivals. And we actually came to the game because I was announcing for the Titans too. And so my mom and dad showed up because my mom and dad never went to a game. And the fact that you called my parents out, stood them on the sidelines and talked about my brother. And it was emotional. And there was a few of your players that did not like it, and you set them straight, you know, and I really appreciated the fact that you had my back, and most of all, you had my parents' back, and I just want to thank you for that.
Brian, you know, I've said this back in day one, you've been family since day one. You went to school with my brothers, and I mean, it's just me being who I am. Yeah, I did. I had a few ball players that kind of had some things to say, but again, it's family. Regardless who you are, where you're from, it's family.
Yep.
And you were family before they were family, so they have to understand that. So yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And I just want to let you know, and not necessarily that I had to let everybody else hear it, but I just wanted to say it on this stage that I appreciate everything you've done. So I thank you. And you too, Jimmy. You've given me the opportunity to announce football, something that I love to do, and I've only been doing it now 20 years. So it's been a long time, but I've truly enjoyed it. So let's wipe the tears and the kumbayas and everything else. So now we're going to talk about the Bears. The Bears are undefeated in their conference. You're undefeated in your conference. It is an undefeated game. This is going to be one whale of a game. You've got the offensive-minded team versus the defensive-minded team, and not necessarily saying that you don't have an offense or they have a defense, but it is. It's the best defense in the league versus the best offense in the league. So, saying that, give us a little synopsis of the game.
We're going to continue to collaborate. We've already started discussing what we need to do. It starts way before we get on that field. And we're going to do our best. I mean, far as schemes or anything like that, hey, we're going to line up. We're going to play ball. And we're going to be fast.
And physical.
And physical.
Absolutely. And I think this is going to be one of the best games ever in the CMFL. I think it's going to come down. I think it will come down to late in the fourth quarter. The team that rises up, especially when they're tired, and that is the one thing that you guys have done an amazing job of, is get them physically conditioned to play the game. And you have beaten several teams this year due to the fact that your conditioning put any end to the other team with a chance of trying to beat you guys.
Let me say this. When it comes to Coach Ross, know what I'm about to say.
Go ahead, say it. Say it, Coach.
You talk about whipping the guys in shape and conditioning. Coach Ross, that's one of his humongous bright spots that everyone in Kansas City, even outside of KC, will tell you. If that one thing about Coach Ross you can tell me, what did he bug you about? Conditioning. He doesn't lack in that department, and he gets after every single individual. Again, I played for this man for a couple of years, and I got a wake-up call my very first day. After practice, a 2.5-hour practice, there were some stairs behind the school that we were practicing at, and it was pretty steep, a lot of stairs. And here we are taking off our pads. He looked at the entire team, said, nope, full pads. You guys going to start, you're going up and down, don't skip a step until I'm done. I'm looking at him like, okay, whatever. Okay, maybe we'll do this for a couple of minutes, and next thing you know, about 15 minutes into it, guys are starting to drop, and I've always had endurance. Even I slowed up, and I'm like, he has not said anything about stopping yet. 20 minutes later, I'm going up the steps, and he's at the top, and he goes, you got 5 minutes left. I'm like, what? So trust me, he doesn't short step when it comes to conditioning. And I want to say I really appreciate you, Coach. You are definitely a humbled individual. Mm-hmm. Me being here with you for 1 year, again, this is old saying about every day you learn something new. And even at our ages, I'm still learning new things that I'm getting from different people. Or maybe I'm teaching somebody something new. And I really appreciate you being humbled and open-minded. And I think this team and our success is a huge reflection of you as an individual, and we appreciate that.
Man, you gave me my flowers now. I appreciate that, Coach. Well, you know the feeling is mutual. Just because I'm older and been in this a little longer doesn't mean that I don't learn from you and some of the others. So that's why I said that's what makes this team special, because you don't have all the answers. You got to be willing to listen, really listen. Oh, and to the conditioning factor, I'll say it in front of everybody on here. The human body can take 10 times more than what you think it can.
Oh, I've heard that 1,000 times. So.
Make it 1,001 when it comes to
1,001 now. So I have to ask this one question. Do I get to announce the championship game?
Yeah. You coming down there to Arkansas?
I guess I am coming down to Arkansas. And it was in Joplin. Now it's moved down to Arkansas. So now I got to drive twice as far. But I appreciate the honor to announce another championship game. So, and hopefully it will turn out as a championship for the Kansas City Panthers.
It's going to be a dogfight. We know how good the Bears are. The success they've had over the years. It's one of the most elite teams in, I call it though, amateur football.
Right.
They've had a lot of success. They've won numerous of championships. They played in the Natty several times. We got our work cut out, but here's the thing: our guys believe we have a legit shot of winning this. So, everyone out there, if you think Greenland, Arkansas is far away, especially when it comes to Kansas City, it's 3 hours. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So just outside of Fayetteville, I want to say like maybe 10 minutes outside of Fayetteville.
Yeah.
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 Make plans next Saturday evening to come down to watch us do battle. I think it's going to be a historical game, probably one of the best that we've seen in this league, and we're part of it. We want to support on both sides. I think from the Bears to the Panthers, we want everyone, the league, to come out, be part of the festivities, and we're going to do our best to put a good show on.
Hey, shout out to our fans too out there for rocking with us all season.
Man.
And let me take this opportunity now, because I haven't had a chance to say something. Mad respect to the Bears and Kevin Cox, head coach over there.
Yes.
And looking forward to seeing those guys. Very good team.
Absolutely. And with that, we are at the end of Any Given Sunday on KUAW. Head coach Jimmy Ross, and the CMFL commissioner and assistant head coach Bo Webb. I thank you guys very much for
Thank you, Brian.
coming
thank
on
you,
the
Brian,
show.
for having us. Mr. Walker, thank you.
And
Yes, sir. Thank you,
we've got
Walker.
Mr. Walker running the show, doing a phenomenal job. We have Coach 24, Darwin Penny, my brother with another mother, and I am Brian Kress, the awesome voice. Be awesome, not angry, and you guys have yourself a blessed sports weekend.
All right now.